Okay. Yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, way. What's up, fellas? Brrrr. We're back. We're acing our attorney right now. Oh, yes. We are on trial rescuing our boy, Mr. Starbucks, from... Judge? I suppose we should reconvene the trial of Solomon Starbuck. Judge? Judges! Phoenix! Look at him! Look at my boy's back! Ah! Oh. Hold up. Oh. Your Honor, could you please come out from under your bench, please? There are no more bombs, I promise. Oh, yes. My apologies. I'm a little bit jumpy when it comes to trials involving bombs. No, understandably so. I mean, first the courtroom exploded. Then this guy fucking did some bullshit. And then Mr. Tunnett self-destructed. He did. I guess that's one way of describing what happened to Tonnet. Tonnet? Detonate, so it's Tonate. Tonate. Anyway, it seems that Mr. Justice was seriously wounded by Mr. Tennant's actions. So you, Mr. Wright, will be taking up the defense. Yes, sirree! Do you have an understanding of what happened in the trial so far? Yeah? We did a bit of investigating as well, so we know everything about this trial. Yep, Your Honor, the defense is ready. Frickin' Blackwell's body his ass kicked. Very well. Is the prosecution also ready? Oh. I take it you'd like me to give the opening statement this time? Looks like the judge has become a pretty good mind reader. Would seem so, and also apparently the what's his name? Blackwell's no longer open to being cool anymore. Well, he certainly seems seen his more what the fuck? He's certainly seen more than his fair share of colourful personalities. Yes, sir. You could say he's something of a veteran of sorts. I'd say that. Let's see. In the previous part of this trial, we learned that the victim, Clay Terran, rest in peace, escaped from Launchpad 1, carrying the defendant, Solomon Starbuck. There were explosions on the second floor of the Space Center and on the rocket itself. The two astronauts used the Launchpad 1 corridor together while they were alive. Not the way that you were talking about it. To reach the boarding lounge. And how could the victim climb down the ladder if he was carrying the defendant? That was the mystery that needed to be solved. Yes. But Mr. Justice proved the victim was killed in the boarding lounge. Also correct. Prosecutor Blackwell, were you able to discover any new facts to this point? I wasn't allowed in that area, so I couldn't really go in. Upon further investigation, We discovered an oxygen tank fragment in the lounge. Surprisingly, it would appear that Justice Donner's argument was correct. So that means the testimonies of the first two people on the scene are suspect. And we can't really ask one of them about it. There were two people who claimed to be to be the first on the scene. But can we truly trust their statements? Let's see. Two people were Detective Candace Arm, who's dead, and Yuri Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police? Yes, it's certainly possible we might have to do a little more digging. And see, indeed. And just as the team was about to cross examine Detective Arm, the courtroom bombing incident occurred, and the trial was put on hold. That accursed fellow, he killed my witness. He killed Detective Arm. He definitely put the kibosh on anyone asking her about what she saw. Correct? Exactly. In other words, the question of who killed the victim in the boarding lounge has once again become the main focus of this trial. It's obvious Blackwell still thinks it was Mr. Starbuck. Fulbright said that Blackwell has a thing against the astronaut. Nevertheless, the defense argues that there was a third person in the lounge that was killed. That's who killed the victim. Huh. To make such reckless claims in a courtroom takes a bold man, or a stupid one. There was no third person in the boarding lounge, well, not according to our witness, right? Our witness literally saw them with her own damn eyes, and it's also your sister who saw him, right? It was Aura Blackwell. Oh, have you gone dotty already? Oh man! I'm like mid-30s, bro. Objection! I am not old. We'll see who's the dotted after I trounce you with my years of experience, little boy. How old is this guy? 28. You're not much younger than me, buddy. Also, Phoenix, technically speaking, you don't have years of experience because you were, you know, fired. Well, you were accused of, you know, submitting false evidence in court. So you had 7 years where you weren't. Technically, you ain't got that many years, buddy. It's like 4. In any case, Mr. Starbuck claims he saw someone leaving the lounge. Furthermore, a Space Center employee also saw a suspicious figure at the scene. They saw a third person? Indeed. I see my sister has been running her mouth. That's right! I was Father Oria's Blackwell's sister. No matter. She didn't see this mysterious person's face clearly. Therefore, there is no evidence to indicate that this person was not the defendant. I guess the possibility that the figure was Mr. Starbuck is still there, technically speaking. In brief, we need to determine if a third person was there or not. Yes, we certainly do. To this end, we should hear the testimony of one of the first people on the scene. Director Cosmos. Yes, sir. Okay. Why, I believe I've seen you in the newspaper. You probably have. Of course you have! Of course you have, for I am Yuri Cosmos, director of the Cosmos Space Center, which was of course named after me, Yuri Cosmos. Okay. Don't you have anything you wish to ask me? Looks like he's all geared up to do some bragging, as usual. 7 years ago, I successfully launched the Hat 1 and... No one fucking cares. He's got the segue out. Everyone already knows how brilliant you are. Even I am trying to hold back my tears after seeing such a great man standing before me. So could you please proceed directly to your important testimony? Ha ha ha! I see this fine young lad as a proper appreciation of greatness. Then allow me to begin my epochal testimony that will be recorded in the annals of history. What? The annals of history? That spirit of Black was just now. It sounded more to me like he was poking fun, because he was. It's probably for the best of it. So right over the director's head. Now then, director, the Cosmos. There is condensed version of the listener's testimony, please. Okay. Come on, Yuri. Come on, Yuri Cosmos. What I saw at the scene. Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together. We went via the control room and peeked in there from what to see what was going on inside. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and talent lying on the floor. I had to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck. Interesting. You advise on the scene after the two had escaped from the launch pad to the lounge. And just after the victim had been killed? Yes. Oh, the horror, the humanity! For what I said is what I saw. It is what I saw is what I said. What the... my hello? Courageous action to take in the face of the terrifying explosions, wouldn't you say? To save my men, I went personally into the epicenter of danger. Risking my life for theirs. Ha 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 ha! Well, what do you know? It sounds like the doctor really cared about his man. I don't believe you. Yeah. Though it sounds more like he was scared and just had a peek from far away. That... allegedly. What if Yuri Cosmos is this phantom? Because wasn't... he was chasing a phantom. What if... and that was 7 years ago. And apparently it happened... yeah, murder was prisoner. And who else was here 7 years ago? This guy. Her. And him technically, and another old lady, another lady. Is it offence that leads to examines a weakness? Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor. Director Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. I'm gonna have to press him and draw out more information before I do anything else. Okay. Under Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together via the control room, peeked in there to see what was going on. Saw a figure. Hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck. I can't present anything. I think I just press. We'll press this one.
Hold it!
Hold it real quick. So you couldn't see who that figure was, clearly, what they were doing. Sadly, the only thing I could tell was that it was a person standing motionless. The defendant, no doubt, staring aghast at his deed. What other explanation is there? I'm so close, but without evidence, I can't prove that this person is the third party. I don't relish in this end. Okay. And I hate to say it. Hold it. Aura also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge. But she gave a statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Did you see this figure's face clearly? No, not clearly. The lighter they were holding illuminated the area around their feet at the time. But other than that, I could see little else. That's why I could see Terran, but I couldn't see what the other person was. So for all you know, it might not have been Starbuck after all, isn't that correct? I would like to believe that. Starbuck is the type of man who's capable of murder. Objection. Okay. When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third person there. Isn't that correct? Great Space Center Director? Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Terran were there by that time. After we peeked in, the lounge suddenly went dark and the figure vanished. I mean, it disappeared, that's odd. Objection. Oh, okay. The reason the figure appeared to vanish was because it was the defendant. When the witnesses weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned unconsciousness. Okay, that's a stretch. Hold on, Director Cosmos. Did you ever... Hold on, Director Cosmos. Did you ever take your eye off the scene? Just for a brief instant. About as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by. If you took your eyes off the scene, then this person could have escaped during that time. But what escape route could this person have used? The direction opposite the control room, the southern door to the elevators. There's no security lock on that door, so it would be possible to escape that way. Objection. But there was no power, Phoenix. All things are possible, right, Dono? So the question is, do you have any proof? Oh, well... If we're just talking possibilities, we could each profess what we'd like. An inmate who used to be a university professor, and an investor, doing a research used to say, there is a kingdom of little green men who live under the surface of the moon. As long as they don't punish us in the name of said moon for what we've done to it. But I say, where's your proof that this quaint kingdom exists? He's calling a theory a work of fiction, boss. Yeah, thank you, Athena. And he's right. I have no proof yet. Still. The southern door was a possible escape route. I'd better make a mental note of that. Dr. Cosmos, may I ask you a question? Yes? Why did you look away from the boarding room lounge? There's actually another tale of bravery behind the answer to that. It was one that saw the figure and raised her gun. Being a great humanitarian and protector of mankind, I tried to stop her. What? Saying that the raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure? I imagine her instincts as a detective told her that they were the killer. I know about that. I know. And were you able to prevent Detective Arms from firing her gun? Bow bow bow! I'm afraid I was too late. I was unable to stop her. She identified herself clearly, and then... BANG! No. She fired 2 warning shots at the shadowy figure. This information about Detective Arms' actions sounds critically important. Please add to your testimony. But only one bullet hole was found, right? Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots at the figure. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, did she? No, she didn't, Phoenix. You know this to be false. That's the first time come out. I wonder if I can find out any inconsistencies. We can. Oh, wait. Normally it brings us to the last one. Here we go. Present. The bullet hole or the bullet? I think the bullet was found in the boarding lounge. Boom! Brigitte. Are you sure that you were really paying attention to what Detective Arm was doing? You doubt my words? Words that will make someday be written down in the history books? Somehow I don't think those exact words will ever be written down in any history books. Mr. Wright, could you please explain yourself so that we can all understand? You said Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, and yet only 1 bullet hole was ever found at the scene. What? Only 1 bullet hole means the gun was only fired once. Oh, pardon. Okay. And yet, Detective Cosmos is saying Detective Arm fired 2 shots. No editor would allow such a glaring contradiction in a history book. Objection! That's not real. Unfortunately for you, the witness's words are true. Are they? We confirmed that 2 shots were fired from her gun. Objection! But there's only 1 bullet hole at the scene. Where did the other bullet hole vanish to? Okay, I'm being attacked by a bird. You should have entered that already. In the body, maybe? Oh, maybe she... I see. During the previous trial, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. We already discussed that it was ruptured in the lounge, have we not? Well, it appears the thing that ruptured it was a bullet. That's not good for us. A bullet that was found near the tank, to be precise. This bullet was fired from a .38 caliber gun, the same caliber as the detective's gun. What? That's bad. The rifling marks also match up. There's no question that the bullet was fired from Detective Arm's gun. Rifling marks. They're like a gun's fingerprint on a bullet, correct? Mm-hmm. And examining the rifling marks on a bullet could tell us the gun was fired, right? One of the bullets the detective fired found its way to a holographic image display. The other came to a stop near the victim's oxygen tank. Is that real? The evidence confirms the detective's statement that that the detective fired 2 shots. My beautiful contradiction. Gone. Oh god! So that bullet hole was from a .38 caliber gun, huh? I better update that record. Thank you. Well, hold on. But, wait. Wait. No. Because this is a 10 caliber handgun, right? This is a different gun altogether. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots. One hit the holographic display, the other the oxygen tank. No, it certainly does not. No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots from the .38 caliber gun, but that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene. A piece that points to the existence of a third person. Oh? Very well, but it won't do good to keep us waiting, Mr. Wright. What piece of evidence suggests the possibility of a third person at the scene? The smaller bullet hole.
Take that!
What is this metal pellet supposed to be? It's just a little something of great importance we found at the crime scene, Your Honor. You found it where? In the floor gutter of the crime scene. It looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a .10 caliber bullet, making it much smaller than one of Detective Arm's .38 calibers. And then that means... Exactly. One more person must have been there in the lounge. A third person who had a gun that could fire 10 caliber bullets. And if that's true, it explains why Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots. This third person was fired at Detective Arm and Cosmo with their gun. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down to Director Cosmos? Ha ha ha, it looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us. What's this now? Well, that's not completely clear, our guy. What? You never breathed a word of any of this to me before. Well, all great men have a secret or two, don't you know? Foolish old geezer. So Cosmos really has been hiding the presence of a third person all along. But why? Dr. Cosmos, I want you to testify to the court about what you really saw. You may be a very great man, but in my courtroom, you were just another witness. You won't receive special treatment here. Now please give an accurate testimony. What did you first see at the scene? Detective Arm and I rushed to the control center. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and saw Terran on the floor. We were still in the control room when he fired at us. No, because didn't we find it down here? Because there was no grate that way, right? Given that there were no third person in the lounge when the witness entered it, does this mean the person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant? No, no! Okay. Not necessarily. It's still possible that it was someone else entirely. Exactly. Most likely, as soon as Detective Arm and Cosmos discovered this person, they escaped to the southern door, the one that didn't have a security lock.
Objection!
Okay. Double-edged swords are a tricky lot. Mishandle one, and it's you who is cut down. Huh? Your reasoning could apply if Spaceboy were the killer as well. Think about it. To be discovered, he could have fired the 10 caliber gun. Detective Arm would have responded by firing 2 warning shots. All he had to do was feign unconsciousness to invent the possibility of a third person.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by police. Nor had the gun been found at the crime scene. Its absence can only be explained if there was a third party who took it with them.
Objection!
Recall the existence of a trash chute in the boarding lounge. I don't want to. Yeah, and the bullet was found here. The defendant could have simply thrown the gun down the chute.
Objection!
But you can't deny the possibility of a third person leaving with the weapon.
Objection!
Okay. Objection is objection schmection. It's up to you to prove the possibility. And I trust you haven't forgotten my little piece of decisive evidence. What evidence? Why, the detonator switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, naturally. The most compelling evidence of all that tells us he is the culprit. This phantom guy definitely planted that in there. But then wouldn't he have left the gun as well? Ah! I did forget all about that. Look, your baldness. How deliciously obvious is that they lack the evidence of a mine. Wow. He sliced our third person theory to ribbons and sewed it to it. Just like that. Yes, well, I have a question of my own, actually. That bullet that fired the Mr. What the fuck? That bullet that the mysterious figure shot. What did it hit exactly? It hit me. Proof? So does that mean you're a ghost? Well, I was wondering when you would realize it, your baldness. Director Cosmos is an authentic, bona fide ghost. He could even pass through walls. Eek! For fuck's sake.
Objection!
Prosecute Blackwell. Shame on you for teasing the nice old gentleman. Your borders, it was all in jest. Please choose off again. Yes, hey, leave the judge alone. Are you sure? In that case, how did you justify being shot, Dr. Cosmos? Ha ha ha! I'm glad you asked. It was a miracle revealing a great history-making figure such as myself. Oh, you can see it there. The bullet hit my glorious Medal of Honor, where it by ricochet thus saved my life. Oh. That's unbelievable. I have to check this out. Oh wow! Look at that. There is one extra Gaiaxa star. The odds are literally astronomical. I guess it really was a miracle. It's beginning to really feel like the cosmos is watching out for the cosmos. But why did you conceal this information with the cosmos? A great man, such as myself, has to hide things on occasion, no matter how much it hurts. It is the plight of the truly great. It may be hard for the Federation to understand. I know. But it sounds fishy to me. What else is he hiding? Let's just cross-examine him. Let's just cross-examine him and see what we can find out. Hello, Mr. Wright. Your examination, please. Okay. what you really saw. To the lounge, we saw a figure. We were still in control room. But if it hit you, it ended up in the gutter, which is this side of this way, which if you look at a map, wait, no, I don't have the correct map. I do. Here it is. So that door is there to the launch. Was that the wait? Yeah, it's that's the wrong door. It's this door. It's here. It's like this way. And you can actually see that on the map. If you go onto here, you can see, you can't actually on this one, but it's here. And the grate was here? Or here was it here? Here and here. So that must mean the question is, how did the bullet get from there to there? Get from him all the way from the other side of the room. Director Cosmos, I believe you're telling this great court a glorious lie. A great man like me tell a lie? Have you ever heard of such a thing in all of history? My accusation is based on the positions of the people who were in the lounge. According to your testimony, you and Inspector Arm were near the control room door, and the mystery figure was standing in the middle of the boarding lounge. If, as you say, the figure fired a gun at you from this position, then the bullet would have travelled in this direction. However, we found that 10 caliber bullet here. Yeah, it was there. Oh! This trajectory and where the bullet was actually found contradict each other. What? He lied? Never would have believed that. Director Cosmos, were you really... Where were you really when you were being shot at? Yeah. Ah! Are you not dizzy? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the human merry-go-round.
Objection!
Okay. Don't tell me you've forgotten already. Didn't the witness himself just tell you that bullet hit his metal? Yeah. Of course. There is no mistake. Objection. What do you mean there's no mistake? But in that case, the bullet should have been found near the east side of the room. Are you trying to say that you can explain this inconsistency? Of course. I didn't think so. What? Oh, great Director Cosmos. Yes? Is something that like to ask me to expound upon? But you were in fact not in the control room to the east gate, were you? You were looking into the lounge from the door to the south. Is that not right? Ah! What are you getting at? Use your own brain. Use your head must have some other things than housing. What the fuck? That was too quick. That bird's nest. Why is someone picking my hair? Yeah, real. The Cosmos and the detective witnessed the scene from the southern door. That would make sense, considering where the bullet hole was and bullet hole ended up. The killer fired at them, and that is why the bullet was found in the south. Ah! That makes some sense, actually. That's what I'm saying. Also, the witness being at the southern door is rather favourable for the prosecution. Huh? I've got a bad feeling about this. How about it, Director? If you tell us the truth this time, you'll be held up of court and you'll get stabbed up by this guy. Yikes! He's handcuffs! You'll become but rot upon my sword. I relish the chance to cut down a great man. Alright, I'll tell the truth. Just put your sword away. You are correct. I, the great Yuri was looking into the room from the southern door. What? That's the complete opposite of the testimony he gave so far. And now, you have lost your possibility that there was a third person in this room. I have. How? The director and the detective were near the southern door. Meaning, the killer couldn't have escaped through there. But no required print recognition beyond the corridor. With no required print recognition, the corridor beyond filled with smoke. The only escape route left was the eastern control room door. And the only way to get through there was with Director Cosmos' fingerprints. In short, there would be no escape for any third person, had there been one. Ah! But why would you lie about that? Mr. Person just disappeared, like one of Tree's magic tricks. Not looking good for us here. Order! Order! Order in the court. Indeed. Dr. Cosmos, why did you tell such an outrageous lie? Judge, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. You were covering for the defendant. Isn't that right? Yes, it was all for the love of my men. If I said I was in the eastern control room, it would mean that the culprit could have escaped through the southern door. It would have meant that there could have been a third person. I mean, that's nice of him. If this is the case, and friggin' he isn't the friggin' Phantom, this guy right here, everything would have been okay. All I wanted was to protect Starbuck. I said it was in the control room to make an escape route for the third person. Wait, what a convoluted lie. Was he really coming for the defendant? It looks like we've come to a conclusion. Why am I... The defense's argument. The possibility of a third person has crumbled. No! Yes. It's over. Yikes, the judge is about to hand on his verdict. Think, Phoenix, think! This is the perfect time to try and turn my thinking around. If the person had no way of escaping the scene, then what if one of the people at the scene was this third person? Wait, what if the whole premise is all wrong? Dr. Cosmo said that he and Detective rushed to scene together. What if that premise isn't true? What if one of them reached the scene before the other one? And if that person entered the lounge, then they would be the third person. The defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim and shot at the director. There doesn't appear to be any room for argument against these claims. I will now render my verdict. Objection! Please wait, Your Honor. There is still one possibility. Oh? This had better be good, Mr. Wright. There's only one person who could have escaped from the scene. And the person would be the first person who arrived on the scene. Then upon entering the boarding lounge, the second person to arrive came via the southern door. That's why the first person fled from the room. Using an escape route that was accessible only to them. Very well. Let's hear more. Okay. Who is it? Athena Sykes. Trucy Wright did it. He did it! Bang. What? But that's... Mr. Wright, what are you claiming here? All the people who were at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. The director is the only one with the authority to open the control room door. But that means... Exactly. The true identity of the third person is our current witness. Get him! Get him! Look at my boy! Look at him, bro! What? Athena! Don't act surprised. You'll hurt our case. Order! Order in the court, I say! Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself in more detail. I assert that Dr. Cosmos arrived at the scene before Detective Arm and entered the boarding lounge alone. Detective Arm arrived after that, and he saw a suspicious figure who was actually Dr. Cosmos standing in the lounge. And that's why she fired those 2 warning shots. Gah! I've been hit! I've been hit on the starboard side! Isn't that a ship? Captain Wright! It's the director of the enemy ship, sir! A magnificent shot! Warning shots fired from the enemy ship! Prepare to intercept! Cosmos! You've told a lie in this court once again! I've been hit! I've been hit on the port side! The enemy is calling reinforcements! We're at the Cosmos Control Center. Requesting permission to ask that you return to reality. But my ship will not go down any less to anything less than the ultimate weapon of evidence.
Objection!
But I do have evidence. In fact, you could say that your battleship bears its scar. If Cosmos is the third person or a Black Quill saw, person fired a Detective Arm with their gun. And in so, the detective fired her warning shots back. Isn't that how it really went down, Cosmos? Ha ha! It looks like you, yeah. Yes, you're absolutely right. He fired upon us. Must have been the one who fired the 10 caliber. One Detective Arm discovered him in the lounge. It only makes sense that he would have turned and shot her. Therefore, the evidence on the director's body is of a different kind of relevance than before. Once we compare it against a different piece of evidence, the mark that you receive from the third party will be all the proof we need to prove that you were the one there in the lounge. Wait, further impact. Comparison against this piece, the other bullet from Arm's gun, right? If we can get the measurements, that'd be crucial for us. That kind of a bullet found on the floor at the same didn't hit the oxygen tank. It hit Dr. Cosmos' medal. If we analyze that ricochet mark on the medal, I'm sure the caliber will match up. And if the mark proves to be from a 38 caliber bullet, it will prove that you are in fact the third person we've been looking for. Ah! The bridge is destroyed, losing altitude. All hands, abandon ship. If that's true, then what about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank? It was the same caliber bullet. In other words, it was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. It's in the right director. No! You've got it all wrong! What? That engine has started again? It's a miracle! I'm not going down yet! Witness! Stop this at once and confess the truth. If you don't want the history books to say that a great man was a great liar, then accept your fate and tell the truth. Are you giving me orders? Me, the great director of the Cosmos Space Center? Ah, but the Cosmos rolls on me. Ah! Someone get me out of this thing! Order! Order in the court! And will someone please put wisdom training? The judge has officially lost, well, not the judge. He's officially lost the plot. Phew. Thank goodness we were to stop him from spinning off the face of the earth. While he was trying to take the liberty of running analysis on the mark of the medal. It was made by a 38 caliber bullet, matching it with the size of Detective Arm's firearm. Are you ready to confess the truth, witness? No! You've got it all wrong! This is just a misunderstanding! Poor guy, he shit himself. Is he gonna start piling on more lies? Probably. Seems like it. It looks like it. This seems too easy. But no matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one. I'll make that big liar tell the truth. Oh, okay. That was the trial. Wait, trial part 1, maybe? Okay, trial day 2. Part 2. Okay. Dr. Cosmos. A new possibility has been presented by the defense. I really don't feel like this is the guy. It's too easy. You know what I'm saying? Surely the Phantom isn't Yuri Cosmos. This doesn't make any sense to me. I seriously don't believe it was him. Anyway. Ah, forgive me. I'm so sorry. Look at him. I don't feel like he's a bad dude. I'm going to be proven wrong in about 20 minutes. So the great pioneer of space development is ready to be revealed. For what? Ready to be revealed to be just another fabulous cur. I have only one question for the likes of you. Shall I send you off quickly or very quickly? Ah! The evidence doesn't lie, Dr. Cosmos. So don't try to talk your way out of this. Yeah, Dr. Cosmos. If that's even your real name. Fine, I'll tell the truth. It's all just as you say, Mr. Wright. Okay, good. It's true that I was there in the boarding lounge. I got there before Detective Arm Get out. Okay. And when she arrived, she fired warning shots at me. I was afraid people would mistake me. What? I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer. So I escaped to the control room. Then I went past the elevators all the way around to Border Lounge 1 again. I see. Smart, actually. That's actually very smart, actually. I came up behind Detective Arm and pretended to be the second on the scene. Troublesome old man you are. With such convoluted deeds and thoughts. I see. So then... Are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim? Of course I am! When I arrived at the lounge all alone, I saw the true killer! The great Yuri Cosmos was a history-making witness.
Hold it!
Now hold on just a moment. We just proved a few minutes ago that the third person that Mr. Starbuck and Miss Aura Blackquill saw was you. No, it wasn't me. I saw the other person as well. If I were the killer, why would I let a cover for Mr. Starbuck? Fair. I would just leave him to take the fall. Also fair. That is an excellent point. What do was protect Starbuck? Well, it makes sense if you told these lies to cover Mr. Starbuck. Still. And lies are a lie, Athena. So Cosmos claims he's not the culprit. But where is the proof? Ah! I just remembered something. I have an alibi. Miss Blackwell said that she saw the killer at 10 AM, right? Yeah, and... Well, I was on the fourth floor with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff if you'd like. They'll corroborate me. The director is not favored to the court for once. I can confirm that he has an alibi for the time specified. So you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 AM. And that you arrived at the lounge after that. Yes, I believe the person I saw, the same person as Miss Blackwell saw. Although it was pitch black, so it was more of a shadowy figure than a person. And I couldn't actually see their face either. But it was definitely the silhouette of an earthling. As long as he has an alibi. Yeah, we're in trouble. We can't very well claim Cosmos was the killer. No, we can't. I wonder if he was really covering for Mr. Starbuck. Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw. Very well. Cosmos testimony, please. What I witnessed. Ow! As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door. And well, the lift had one door. And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. Okay. So you were shot by the killer. And they disappear. Yes. Luckily, no harm came to my glorious body. Aha. Unfortunately, the bullet hit Terran's oxygen tank. I know, because I heard a pang. That must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured. Wait. But I thought the bullet hit his metal. That was a selective arm bullet, remember? Right. What a mess is it turning into? And how about you focus up, please? Okay. Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Terran and his killer, the culprit shot a 10 caliber bullet at him. Right. But it actually hit Mr. Terran's oxygen tank and ruptured it. And then the killer just disappeared, and the director went into the boarding lounge. And then he went all the way around and back. Then arm caught up and fired those warning shots at him. Judging by his medal, it looks like one of them almost took him out too. Good summary. But that doesn't explain where our Mr. Killer went. This way. I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared. I'm ashamed to admit, I tried to hide myself when I was shot at, but that's fair. When I peeped back into the lounge, the kill killer was gone. Gone? I went into the lounge straight away to investigate. Gone? So this was locked. He wasn't not on the bottom floor. He was the guy was here. The killer was alleged. The Phantom Killer was here. That's locked. So, and the windows are not broken. So he would have had to go to trash chute, which is here, or the corridor where the launch rocket is. Interesting. What I found was Terran with a knife in his chest, and a Starbuck out cold on the floor. So the culprit had vanished from the scene that had no escape route. Vanished without a trace. It's true, like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos.
Silence.
A riddle of the ages, indeed. But I'd rather know how a fibbing leech such as you can be lauded as great. A great man is always misunderstood in his time, but he must remain true to himself even if those around him do not understand. That might be the first true statement he said all day. But how do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly? Yeah. Simple. Because it was Spaceboy himself. Okay. When he was spotted by the director and Aura, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. I would certainly take all the mystery out of the vanishing culprit. I want to raise an objection, but I don't have any counter evidence. Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor? No, because it was dark as a black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished and I entered the room. That wasn't helpful. I'm prepared to accept your surrender right now. I can't find any holes in this testimony, but I can't give up. Mr. Wright, why don't you let me help? Okay. Huh? While the victim was giving out his testimony, I detected a cacophony of discord. Which means he's hiding his true feelings from us, huh? Naughty boy! Naughty, 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 you're teasing me, oh. Okay. This might just help us find out what happened to our vanished killer. That'd be great, Athena. Let's see what you can do with him. Got it, boss. I wouldn't want to miss this chance to delve into a great mind. You must prepare to hand over the secrets of your heart to me. Oh. That sounds like some romance thing. Beep bop beep. Therapy session activated. Okay. As I tried to enter the lounge, he was angry a little bit. He was terrified. And smack sad. Tried to avoid getting hit. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished to thin air. I was near the elevator side door, as well as the side. Why are you sad about the door? No, wrong one. Oh, sorry, why is he sad about a door? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the launchpad door. The great Yuri was afraid? Yeah. Anyway. On what basis do you have for that outlandish accusation? Whether I have my basis or not, you seem quite distressed by it. I am most certainly not. Look at your head is spinning. Back to Cosmos. Something about the launchpad door you're not telling us, isn't there? Ah! Wow. He's speechless. Looks like you're an nail on the head, boss. Okay. It's working, boss. One more punch and it'll be a knockout. Just one more. One more. Okay, back into the matrix it is. Time to pinpoint our way to victory. Okay. It vanished, no emotions, no emotion. What? So we've already done this. He had no emotions for the side door. No emotion. How do I get another look? He didn't. Maybe it's just a surprise. He isn't surprised that the killer had vanished into thin air. That seems interesting. Why weren't you surprised? You must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air, right? I did that. I did. That kind of thing doesn't just happen, usually. And yet, at the time, you barely registered any shock at the occurrence. What? What are you implying? I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea as to where they went. Isn't that right? Right? Like Phoenix, right? What? No! Of course not. That's preposterous. Only I can enter the control room. And the area beyond the launch pad door was filled with smoke, making it impassable. As for the southern door, well, you were there. I was standing right there. Exactly. So there was no for the killer to run to. Then how did he disappear? Maybe, maybe not. You went into the room to check on Starbuck. It was Terran, yes? What if the culprit took that opportunity to silently slip out the door through the southern door? Highly doubt it. As you recall, right after I entered the lounge, Detective Arm was there. Detective Arm came rushing towards it herself via the southern hallway. Anyone trying to escape through there would have been caught by her. And yet, the director wasn't surprised that the killer had vanished. So you're absolutely sure that there was no escape route for the culprit to use? Interesting. I'll just input the super's data and... Yes! Just what I wanted to see. His heart is clearing up. Noise level's gone down. Presto chango, let's Discord. Looks like we're on the right track. Okay. I need to say now. None of us know what we've just learned. Cosmos wasn't surprised by the sudden vanishing of the culprit, which points to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the launchpad door made him uneasy. In other words, he's already hiding something about the launchpad door. If we put these two pieces together, only one solution to the puzzle comes to mind, which is... He escaped through the corridor.
Take that!
The culprit went through the launchpad 1 door to escape, didn't they? Yes. I mean, no! It's after the starboard! We're gonna crash into an asteroid! A master's technician you are not. A master's technician you are not. But the area beyond that door was filled with smoke, wasn't it? True. But this is still the only logical answer there is. If we could just figure out what the director is hiding about the Launchpad 1 door... we still should run... we should be able to iron out the inconsistencies. Okay. But that door requires fingerprint recognition. Only Starbuck, Terran and I have access. I don't see how the killer could have opened the security lock, do you? That's an easy one. The killer was right there in the boarding lounge, meaning there's a way he could have easily gotten past our security lock. Come to think of it, we'll examine the fingerprints on the device. I propose that killer use this person's fingerprints. Solomon Starbuck.
Take that!
That's... Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there in the boarding lounge. Yes, he most certainly was. Anybody could have easily gotten past that security lock using Mr. Starbuck's prints. And actually, Mr. Starbuck's prints were exactly what was found on the device's screen. Ah! It looks like he does have something about the launch pad one door. And I'm betting it's got something to do with the culprit's escape route. But I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet. Let's go back to the thingy thing. You know, something's just occurred to me. Would you like to hear it? Of course, Judge. Huh? Oh yes, by all means. This is a security camera in the boarding lounge. Right. The one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor? If the trick culprit escaped into the launch pad corridor, then that might be recorded on the security footage as well. No, because it ends. Then the mystery would be solved. What do you think of my logic? Poor guy. I hope you didn't strain your faculties too much without your boldness. I beg your pardon. Look, if we put security on security footage beyond this point... Oh my! The footage cuts off! The security was running on backup power, but apparently the actual power cables were damaged. Most likely by the after effects of the explosion. There is no footage after this, be it of the criminals or space aliens. Aliens? I thought it was such a good idea too. You know what, Judge? It was. This fucking phantom fellow got excruciatingly lucky. Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery doesn't mean you should try to show off too much. Grandpa baldness. What's good at Blackquill? How did you know about my grandchild? I think his grandchild just learned a little bit of the harshness of the adult world. Ooh, there's another one. Setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue. Dr. Cosmos, could you tell us more about about when you entered the lounge? Please, Anna, thank you. Ugh, if I must, you must. He had to avoid getting shot. He was sad about it. After the killer vanished, went into the lounge. And Anna appeared from the other side, which, fair enough, you would be surprised about. Why were you... I mean, I can understand why he'd be angry. And sad. And then the door. Alright, let's do this again. So, he's feeling max sadness to avoid getting shot at. Mediocre sadness going into the lounge. Shock. Max shock about Detective Arm arriving. And then she shot at you, so you were feeling sadness, anger, and surprise. It's gotta be one of these ones. You know what? Lucky dip, lucky dip, lucky dip, lucky dip, lucky dip. Okay. He was apparently she was. But that makes no sense. Why was he surprised that he got actually? No, hold on. It makes sense actually. Because he was like shocked, like, what the heck? Why'd you shoot me for? I can understand the surprise, but that makes sense. That makes sense actually, though. I don't know. I'm confused. Why were you surprised Why were you so surprised when Detective found you and when she fired? No. Sadly, even great such men as myself have ordinary feelings. Our bodies are bound to the forces of gravity and emotion. Even great men such as myself experience surprise on occasion. Yeah, I'm sure you do, buddy. That's not what we're asking for. Okay. My real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather what you were surprised by. Okay, what do you... What? Me confused? Pardon. Pardon? First you were surprised when she shut up, which is fair enough. And then you were shocked, you were surprised when she shot you. Of course. But considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprise reaction is... You were more surprised when she came? He was, wasn't he? Sure, you were surprised when she shot you. But the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater. The fact you were more surprised by simply being found than being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whatever it was you were doing there. The enemy has acquired a new weapon. Commence Operation Hide Under Your Desk. Please tell me I finally sunk this battleship. Not yet, apparently. Boss, I'm getting this Discord now that must mean he really is hiding something about that. And whatever he's hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape. I wonder what it could be. If there was doing something suspicious around the door, maybe we can spot some change before he came to the room and after. Detective Fulbright gave us a photo taken after the crime. Let's run a comparison. Footage at the door before. This was switched! This was switched! Hey, look at that! It's a change. Something's definitely different. Director Cosmos. What is it? What have you been up to? What have you been up to over there? Finding the answer to what you were doing when Detective Arm found you, that's what. And the answer lies clearly in this footage. What we have to do is compare with the photo up, and it was sideways on the photo, right? And don't be ridiculous. If you really do have an answer, you'd have pointed it out already. There, it's sideways. This. Come over here. This. What about? The answer is this knob. Knob. The answer is in fact this knob. God! That's... Your Honor, please take a look at this footage. Let's see. Let's look at it next to the launch pad door. As you can see, it's horizontal. Yes, it is, isn't it? However, it's now vertical. When we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical. What does that mean? It means that sometime between before the doctor arrived and after, someone turned this knob. Ah! After the crime scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned that knob. Come on, director. Let's hear what you have to say. What were you trying to do by turning that knob by the door? Ah! Fine, I admit it. You're right. I did turn that knob. Oh. Okay. The knob is a safety lock meant to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there would be more explosions. Fair. So I wanted to move the launch pad away. You wanted to do what? Hey, didn't Ponko tell us something about how they prepare for launch? Yeah, someone needs to flick that switch to move, to activate the moving sequence, right? She said that once the launch pad is fully assembled, it's moved to the launch site. But the things like in the boarding lounge has to be disengaged first. I guess that could up what the knob is for. Oh. So the killer escaped into the launch pad corridor. Maybe they were transported along with the launch pad to the launch site. I don't think so. The launch pad 1 corridor was filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through that corridor. Then, where did the killer escape to? These are all great questions. Great question. I guess there are still some things we have to uncover. Director Cosmos, I request that you tell all of us about moving the launch pad in more detail. Fine, but listen carefully. I'm about to give a history-making testimony. We're back here again, for fuck's sake. Okay. New info acquired. I don't know how to disengage the safety lock. Why were you happy about that? That shouldn't be the thing you were happy about. Just frame 1. I had the choice but to disengage the safety lock. You make it sound like you were reluctant to do so. And yet, when you did it, you felt some joy, as if you were very pleased with yourself. How do you do it? How do you know everything as if you were there? Because I was there. Bah, bah, bah. Ow. Pretty impressive, isn't it? This is the power of analytical psychology. So did she get it? So she majored in psychology, didn't she? So care to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock? Well, I think back on the facts we've discovered up to this point. I have to believe that you were trying to fulfill some hidden agenda. Hidden agenda? Ah! How do you know about that too? What's your hidden agenda? Because I'm more or less a pro at guessing. Real? Okay. But you have no proof that I had a hidden agenda. You just said you did, though. Okay. And even if I did, I would never ever tell you, so there. Okay, arsehole. I know that people say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, take the cake. And how do you doubt a man with such high intensity, great intensity, intelligence, and integrity?
Silence.
Okay. You, a man of integrity? Don't make me laugh. Prosecutor Blackwell? What came over him all of a sudden? You've spouted nothing but falsities since you stepped up to the stand. Damn, he's got off at him. He's not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Nor for greatness, anyway. Wow, rude. Unless you consider greatness... Unless you consider greatest bare-faced liar an honor. Liar! His words bite harder than his blade. You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions? My, how naive you are! Because the technology was down, right? You finally realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. Because the power was out, right? You know, just a thought, but modern English can be your friend. And here I thought for you, immediately following the bombing. Wait, what did he say? That if I realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. Immediately following the bombing, Launchpad 1 was on the boarding lounge side. And the police confirmed it's on the scene. I see. What? Liar! Right, you still got a liar. So that means he didn't move the launch pad? It would seem that way. Curse my judgment for calling history's greatest liar to the witness stand. No, all good, bro. I like Blackwell. He's chill. He's just a boy. Who... I didn't like him at the beginning because he was a meanie. But he's such a chill guy. In fact, he helps us out so much, in fact. Let us leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content. Brother, get off the light. Shut up, mate. But it doesn't make sense. You can't deny that someone turned that knob. And once the tape lock was released, I'm sure the pad must have went somewhere. If we chase down the truth of this issue, we might just find where the killer escaped to. Okay. You're sure it must have gone somewhere and we might just find out? Your argument is nothing but conjecture, bluffing and wishful thinking. Yes. Nothing wrong with that. And you see reality for what it really is. Or are you not a man enough to, boy? Gah! Haha, talk about hitting the elbow on hitting below the belt. Youngins these days, but you're youngin as well, my friend Felix. Felix? What did Felix come from? Phoenix? I don't understand it. I'm sure that the Cosmos must have moved the launch pad. So it almost definitely turned after he came to the lounge. Maybe it just moved to sides, like maybe it just did like a loop. But the launch pad is right where it's supposed to be. Ah! Wait a minute! Maybe I have it all backwards. Why does not to turn the knob, but not to turn the launch pad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be? What are you blabbering about? That's a great question. What if the launch pad was at the launch site before the... What if the launch pad was at the launch site before the incident? And then after the incident, they came back. Director Cosmos moved it back to its usual spot. No, because then they died in the lounge. And all you have to do was turn them up to call the launch pad back. It would all be right where the police found it. But that's the issue. The bodies were where they found them, and they were in the boarding lounge. Yeah, Phoenix. No! He's fucking Luffy bit. You made him sigh like Mr. Starbuck. What I said was really that off base? Yes. In fact, it was. Probably me to have to explain how wrong your own logic is to you. However, a great liar turned the knob only after he's covered the crime scene. Alright. A fact that has been recorded for posterity on filmless film. Filmless film? Is this film? Alright. No. No, come back. Come back to me, game! You fucking piece of work. Okay. Alright, let's bring this shit back. Alright, we're back. We're back. Capcom. Alright, get back on here. Autosave was 2 minutes ago, which means it shouldn't be that far behind. Logic, red lights handle the knob when he wants after he discovered the crime scene. Indeed, this pedestal is longer than so much. Asher Wonders made their escape. The fact that it's been recorded for poetry on film this film. Alright, here. So to reiterate, stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is, boy. Ah! Get a grip, Mr. Right, and focus. Yeah. We know how it must have been moved, but our deductions and the actual facts of the case are in contradiction to each other. Well, maybe the astronauts actually never boarded the rocket. This footage could be fake, taken within body doubles. Okay. Then that's more bullshit. On a second thought, that's too far-fetched. Yeah, exactly. This is say, even for you, that's come on. They never actually boarded the rocket? Hey, wait a minute. Maybe, just maybe. Huh? Prosecutor Blackwell, what if I told you that 2 astronauts never set foot inside the launch pad area, but instead went into another place? And what if when the director moved the launch pad one back, just not from the launch site, but from another place? What would you say then? Cut the X at your bull, or I'll cut you. Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself at once. I know I'm right. Well, it was all the other way around from the beginning. Very well, Your Honor. Let me explain. Ugh. I hate my life. Dr. Cosmos to switch with another place. Okay. I'm sorry, but did you say switch it? What could he possibly have switched the launch pad with? Oh, you'd be surprised, Your Honor. All it takes is a little thinking outside the box, and the answer becomes clear as day. Has to be the Space Museum.
Take that!
That's the only other logical explanation. Launch pad 1 was switched with the Space Museum? In the past, the Space Museum used to be Launch Pad 2. It has all the same features of the Launch Pad 1, and can even be moved to the launch site. Meaning, the Space Museum and Launch Pad can also be switched with each other. You can't mean. I can mean. The rocket the astronaut boarded was not the one in Launch Pad 1. It was the one in the Space Museum. What? Boulderish. Boulderish? And yet, it's the only explanation that accounts for every inconsistency. Boulder Dash, is what he said. This is how the Space was just before the incident. Our Launch Pad 1 and the Space Museum had already switched places. And that's right. And with the two switched like this, the astronauts entered the Space Museum from boarding lounge 1. So allowed the true killer to enter Launch Pad 1 from boarding lounge 2 and set the bomb on the rocket. Come to think of it, the door to the Space Lounge Museum from boarding lounge 2. Welcome, welcome. The Space Museum is open to the public every day from 9 till 7. So it is open. Exactly. Anyone could pass through the door to the Space Museum. There's no fingerprint recognition system on that door. In other words, with the two launch pads switched like that, oh my goodness. Someone other than Mr. Starbuck could have easily planted that bomb. After setting the bomb on the rocket, the culprit snuck into the boarding lounge and waited there, concealed, in order to kill the deterrent when the two astronauts emerged from the Space Museum. Which would explain why Clay had this. Because it was in. That's why it was confusing. Why would they have it on the rocket ship with them? But if it was in the museum, that makes more sense. Who can we suppose after killing Mr. Terran made the escape and the Space Museum? After that, the Cosmos switched the launch pads back without realizing the killer was inside the Space Museum. You know what? That actually makes sense. The killer then left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway. Right, Dono. I see you know how to handle a sword, and handle it well. Perhaps I should call you the swordsmith's bluff. I'm a samurai who has cut down many a prosecutor.
Silence.
Many professional ones. But unless you can prove your theory is no better than a rusty sword, that's right! If the Pharaoh switched the launch pads, buddy. Somebody needs a better anger management counselor. If the launch pads really were switched, there might be a record of it somewhere. At this point, Launch Pad 1 and the Space Museum was switched with one another. So the corridor between the door should be the one that... Yeah. Let's see. This is an image of the Launch Pad 1 corridor. And how they make it out of that is awful. Do you see anything different when we compare it to the footage? Huh? That number on the floor. Wait. That is a 2! Oh my fucking god, I didn't even realize that! Well, well, what do you know? It looks like we have, after all, Prosecutor. And if this is just another bluff? Oh, don't worry, it's all right here. Right in this footage. Right, proof that beyond this door is the corridor to the Space Museum. Oh well then. Answer this for me, if you would. What footage proves it? The number 2 behind his elevator. There's a 1 on the floor of the Launchpad 1 corridor. But take a look at the on the corridor in this security footage here. Do you see the number 1? Do you see the number on the floor behind the astronauts? It doesn't look like a 1, does it? That's because what you see is actually part of a 2. What? Why is it a 2 and not a 1? That is because the corridor you see is the one to the Space Museum! Ah! Oh. And so that means the corridor in this footage was not filled with smoke. That's right, because the explosion did not occur in the Space Museum. The explosion occurred in the launch pad on the opposite side of the museum. And now that we know the astronauts escaped the Space Museum, the mystery from the previous trial of how they got to let us down is cleared up. Mr. Terra and Cope, they used the elevator. Simply took the elevator from the upper level to the middle level. Just incredible. The two launch pads were actually switched. But you'd think someone would have noticed this in event of this in what? But you'd think someone would have noticed an event of this magnitude. Everyone was down in the basement shelter with the launch pads when they were swapped back. There is no way anyone could have known what was happening on the surface. Finally, his voice has been clipped. Jesus Christ, that's been like 30 minutes of noise. No smoke at all. Bye-bye. No more lies, Director Cosmos. It's high time you told us the truth. My glory, my honor, everything's slipping away. Coptic engine, ignition. What? It's gone haywire! Ah! It won't stop. What the fuck is happening? Help, my boy! Not that way, guys. What the fuck just happened? Bailiff on your steed, and after that witness. Oh, this fucking case is so special, bro. Oh my lord! Ow, ow, my hair. Okay. Oh, he's back. Hey, bud. I see we managed to retrieve you before you came to any bodily harm. Director Cosmos, do you admit you switched launch pads? Just admit it, buddy. I admit it. It's true. I switched launch pads 1 for the Space Museum. It's good to hear your words. I can believe for a change. Before you do, Your Honor, 2 things. First, we don't know if Mr. Tarrant had a prior knowledge of the switch. Well. As for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings thanks to the medication. Either way, Mr. Tarrant would have realized the instant he stepped onto the Space Museum. It had been switched with Launchpad 1. So my first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Tarrant feel the need to put on such a dramatic display? A good question. As for my second question, I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the two launch pads to begin with. Please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent. But I will say, my hands were tied. Oh. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in that blast. So he knew of the explosion. The director is terrified. He must have one heck of a reason for not wanting to explain why. Maybe the phantom's on his ass. Probably not a good time to pry it out of him, huh? Excuse me, but would you mind if I picked up my stars? Without my badge of rank, I'm nothing. I don't see why not. Bailiff, help the doctor to retrieve his stars. This poor old man. Oh, I feel bad for judging him, for doubting him. It appears the possibility of a culprit other than the defendant has presented itself. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say? I don't get it. Don't get what? What don't you get? Director, why did you do all that? From the very beginning, you never meant to launch the go-ahead, did you? You tricked us! Mr. Starbuck, calm down. Starbuck, my boy, I'm sorry, I can't tell you the reason why. But I had to do it to protect the Space Center. Director! Will I ever get the chance to go into space again? Aw, such a cute photo as well. Yes, of course. I won't rest until it happens. I will get you into space again, my boy. Then, the dream is still alive? Yes, sir.
Silence.
Okay, bitch. We're having a moment right now, okay? You're not going to space, Starbuck, but prison. I won't have it any other way. Why are you so hung up on him? Yes, I accept the launch pods really were switched. And if there were a third person at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. But I really see the proof of this third person via escape by the Space Museum. Oh, that's a good point. Ah, he's right. I don't have any proof. Starbuck! You will spill everything you know. What? Me? Ah! Where did you get those bombs? Tell me now. If you don't, my blade shall feast on your blood. Ah! If I'm going to die, I want to die in space. I have to do something. Solomon Starbuck, prepare yourself. Fulbright! Ha ha ha! Now you know violence is the answer, Prosecutor Black Quill. I don't know that voice. That annoying, cheerful laugh. It can be none other than the one, the only Detective Fulbright. I fucking love this guy, dude. Champion of righteousness, Bobby Fulbright here. In justice we trust. In justice we trust, Bobby. My fucking boy, dude. Detective Fulbright. Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer. I hope I'm not too late. Of course not, Bobby. You're right on time, my friend. I mean, earlier it would have been better, but I don't believe we had an appointment. I tried to hurry, but I ended up helping a little old lady cross the street. What a guy! Dude, Bobby is just Bobby is the perfect man. He's always great. What a guy. And then I had to break up a cat fight. Meow. I tell you, just to show you, it's a full-time job. Yes, it is, my friend. Was it a fight between cats or women? Ahem. Why are you here again? Because the defendant isn't the culprit. And I have to make sure that justice is served. W guy. I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Fulbright. I always thought you were a bit touched in the head. But have you finally succumbed? Nope. But it looks like you've succumbed to this phantom of yours. Dun dun dun! Open your eyes, and the evidence of justice uncloud your judgment. What evidence? Got to think of it. He did say something about finding us some evidence. Thank you two. Feel better now that I'm able to get that off my chest. I'm going to work extra hard to find the piece of evidence for you. Thanks, bro. Love you guy. Didn't think he was serious, though. So what is it, detective? Is it something that will prove Mr. Starbuck innocent? It is indeed. Have a look at this. Oh my god, here it is. The lighter. How did you find this? What's that? A lighter? That's right, a lighter thought to have been used by the culprit, no less. The Space Museum's cleaning robot picked that up. It has the victim's clay Terrence pot on it and everything. And the killer's fingerprints on it. What? That's fucking huge for us, Fulbright. Thank you, brother. Helping us out big time here. Order! Detective Fulbright, can I assume that the fingerprints don't belong to the defendant? You bet. This Starbuck is totally innocent. This is it. This is just what I needed. Yeah, who is it? Who's the culprit? Wait, are we gonna find out the identity of this phantom? Your Honor, this is a set of evidence that supports the defendant's earlier claim. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. With pleasure, Your Honor. Recall where this lighter was found. Based on what we can extrapolate, that after the killer murdered Mr. Terran, they escaped with the lighter in hand and into the Space Museum, where they dropped it. The switching of the two launch pads occurred. Then finally the killer left to the boarding lounge and made their escape. Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was found in boarding lounge 1 after the murder, and a fact that Dr. Cosmos has testified to. Therefore, Mr. Starbuck could not have possibly been the one to drop the lighter.
Silence.
Okay. But the defendant has free reign of the area until Dr. Cosmos appeared. Could he not have dropped the ladder in the Space Museum during that span of time?
Objection!
No, sir. You'd like that to be true, wouldn't you? But Mr. Cosmos testified that right after he saw the mysterious figure with a lighter, he went into the lounge and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, he wouldn't have had the time to double back into the museum. No. Possibly Black Hole, this lighter could only have been dropped by the real killer. Most importantly, Mr. Starbuck's fingerprints were nowhere to be found on this lighter. I think you understand what this means, right? This piece of evidence unequivocally proves that Mr. Starbuck wasn't the culprit. This does indeed appear to be the sign of evidence that proves the defense's claims. As for the remote switch that was found in his pocket, a plant, we could assume it was planted by the killer on the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. No! There must be some mistake! Frankly, Buzzers, I've been worried about you. You've been chasing this phantom for 7 whole years. I understand your urgency because tomorrow...
Silence.
What? What do you... What? Fulbright, you promised to never speak of that. Huh? Tomorrow? What about tomorrow? The 17th of February? Is that what it is? October? No, today's the 17th of February. Tomorrow, I mean, not today. In light of the fact it was possible for him to have committed the crime, a few unanswered questions remain, so I look forward to seeing what you two uncover. But for now, this court finds the defendant Solomon Starbuck not guilty! Solomon Starbuck, you are free to go, my friend! This lady in the back here is not impressed. Look at her, look at us! Phoenix, another job done and dusted. Judge, good decision. Yes, we did it, Mr. Wright. Looks like we pulled it off somehow, huh? With some help from Detective Fulbright, that is. Mr. Wright, Miss Sykes, thank you. And please take Apollo for me, too. You're all the best. Oh, I wish I could tell Paul about the Starbucks verdict right now. Yeah, me too. But that's gonna have to wait. Now that the verdict's been reached, I'd like to bring today's trial to a close. Court is adjourned. Yes, dude! Good fucking shit from us.
Objection.
Okay, never mind. It isn't done just yet. It's hard to object, isn't it? It's hard to object, isn't it? What's wrong, Blackwell? It simply isn't possible. Something's wrong. Prosecutor Blackwell? Are you dissatisfied with the verdict? I mean, I would assume so. He lost. Fulbright! What were those results of the fingerprint analysis for the lighter? Huh? The results? Oh, well, I was in a hurry, you see. And then there was that cat fight, and, well... I kind of got carried away when I heard the prints weren't Mr. Starbucks, so... You have yet to read it? Blackwell, can you read out who the prints belong to? Upon thorough analysis, the fingerprints were found to be Athena! What? So says the report. Are you? No. That is not real. No, 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 no. You can't tell me that Athena's the fucking Phantom, bro. What? What? Huh? Me? Holy shit. Order, I say, order! Miss Sykes, tell me you have an explanation for this. We just finished proving the lighter could only belong to the killer. So finding your prints on it can only lead to one grave conclusion. I don't know how they got on there, but I know I'm not the culprit. Of course not. Fulbright! Did you fuck us? Nah, I mean, the fucking stats don't lie. Fingerprints were found and they were Athena's. This can't be happening. We built our argument piece by piece. I don't think any of our reasoning was falsy. So how could it have been, how could it have led to this? With Athena's print on it. That's fucking nuts. What have I done? Please forgive me. I'm not all good, dude. No, you're forgiven, my friend. No, you are. You're forgiven. Order! Order! Fulbright, stop your crying! What in the world is happening here? It's like the world's gone mad. Judge can't control them. Order! Order! I will have order! Nah. You're gonna have to fucking call a recess again or some bullshit. It's out of control. What? Confusion spiraled into utter chaos. After we'd all fought for the truth had turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. We had stumbled over the edge of reason and into the jaws of a twisted darkness. Holy shit. And we're done. We're just gonna end it there. What the fuck? Holy shit. What kind of situation did I just end up with? Well, chat, that was fucking nuts. What a plot twist. I'm out here though. I'm out of here. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go get dinner. But tomorrow we finish the last. Oh no, there's 2 more actually. We do episode 5 of Dual Destinies. I cannot believe what's happened. What a fucking plot twist. Alright, well, chat, I'm getting off. Thank you for coming by. Goodbye, I guess? What a crazy, crazy way to end the case. But alright, chat, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later. Auf Wiedersehen!